Hello, Cherie Hanson here. Thank you kindly for coming and watching my YouTube video. I really appreciate you. I would ask you to subscribe or to like it, and also to share it with someone who can benefit from my, and let me say this, relentless research in how to heal trauma, how the brain works, how family systems work. It is beyond obsession. It is why I am in this life, and so I'm constantly focused on it and learning something new every single day. Today, the thing that I learned was learning about brain health and learning about the effect of trauma on the brain and all of the other things that happen in our lives because of malfunctioning of thought. So we get back to this. We get back to, I had a thought. It's kind of like if you're in a house in the woods, in the deep woods, and there's a full moon, and you hear coyotes and wolves, and maybe the scratching of a raccoon at your door. And those are all the habit thoughts of destruction and death and feebleness and the fact that somehow there's something wrong with you or flawed with you, or it's just a case of obsessing about it enough so you can see exactly how horrible it is. And with each of those thoughts that you let in, it's like letting these beasts in to your little cozy house in the woods. Open the door and let the howling wolf in. That's a great idea. Oh, why don't I open the door and allow the bat, the vampire bat, fly through my hair into my house? And it takes so much training of the mind to get to a place where we just go, oh yeah, right. I hear it. It wants to come in. It's scratching at the door. It wants to come in and become part of my interior reality. And it's at the door that we can stop it, because we can say, it's a thought. It's just a thought. And then we can choose not to let it in. And over time, it gets easier and easier to do that. Today, I was noticing myself, I wanted to invite in some victim thoughts. I thought it'd be a great idea. You know, my hip was hurting and I couldn't get the tasks done that I thought I needed to do in order to prove to myself that I was a good person in terms of the garden. And I couldn't, because there was so much pain in my hip that I did a few steps and then I would collapse or I would be overwhelmed. And so I came to the point where I had to say to myself, are these thoughts making you feel better about yourself and your life? No, they're not. If I let that rabid raccoon thought come in, it's going to tear my secure little nest in my head apart. It's going to trash my reality. So I ended up having a cup of tea sitting on the deck, and I turned off my head, and what I experienced was the smell of lilacs. My neighbor has a lilac hedge, and the perfume was just thick in the air, and the feel of cold air on my face and brushing past me, and the sun shining through the leaves of my big tree, and my lawn so green I felt like I was in Ireland. I'm in Ireland right now. And as I dropped the thoughts, what happened was my reality became happier and happier. And getting to the place where I go, well, what about your hip pain? And I was thinking, what about it? I'll will do what I can do when I can do it, and I will accept my situation as it is at the present moment. And then I relapsed into eating a whole bunch of chocolate. I know you wanted to hear a good end to this story, but no, I had to make it up to myself because I was failing myself. So all these thoughts left a trail. They left a trail. But eventually I got into meditating and calmed myself down and came to a place where I could see through the failure of my thoughts that there was a path up the other side of the hill. Isn't that wonderful? Sometimes just by failing, we can see how strong we are, that we can pull ourselves up out of it. And so I ended up sitting on the deck, appreciating the beautiful garden I have that I've created and the beautiful peace and quiet in my life and the fact that I was growing. And you know what? That's a pretty darn good day when you can get there. So I wanted to share that with you. Thank you. If you want a session with a life coach that knows what it's like to struggle, come and get a hold of me and we can do an hour reading. I can use my channel. I can use my ability to read energy and my prodigious study of how the human brain works and how we are imprinted by our ancestors, our family, our society, everything around us, and be able to get out of that to become who we were born to be. Born to be ourselves. Born to be in love with ourselves. No matter how crickety and challenging it can be. Contact me for a reading. I would be happy to help you.